common question that I get asked is, do I need data visualization to become a data scientist? Not to spoil things too early, but the answer is a resounding yes. In this video, I talk through why data viz is important for the data science process and how you can leverage it to your advantage in your studies, your projects, and on your job. We've all heard the saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words. It's cliche, but there's immense truth to this statement. In data science, I like to say that one graph is worth 1,000 tables. When exploring data, data visualization allows us to understand spatial relationships between variables. We can also understand magnitude and time. At least for me, looking at tabular data, even central tendency statistics, tells only part of the story. The first real value I find in data visualization is for getting to know our dataset and for framing our analysis. With data visualization, you can immediately get an understanding of the distribution of the data, correlations between variables, and the trends in the data over time. In this sense, creating visuals saves us time and adds to our ability to frame the problem at hand. The visual part of our brain has enormous processing power, and that helps us to make sense of the massive volumes of information that we see. I often find that when I look at data in tabular form, it looks fine, but once I graph it, something immediately looks off. We can easily notice small differences in graphs that might not have been obvious in these other data formats. So maybe you're a machine learning engineer. You aren't doing much exploratory analysis. Is data visualization still useful to you? Again, my answer is yes. While your visuals might serve a different purpose, they're still unbelievably valuable to your role. When building models, we need a way to evaluate them. If we're comparing different models, it also makes sense to compare performance over time. The best way to convey information like this is usually visually. You often see graphs of ROC-AUC curves, residual plots, and feature importance. Again, these are far easier for us to digest than the raw data itself. If you have to explain your model to someone else, these visuals can also be extremely handy. This brings us to the third value of data visualization. Sometimes data scientists are making recommendations, and other times they're creating tools for business stakeholders to use for better decision making. Some may argue that this would fall under the data analyst work as well. I personally love the idea that I can make powerful data analysis accessible to people that aren't quite technical through the things that I build. With the right tools, data visualization allows almost anyone to generate valuable insight from a dataset. As it so happens, one of those incredible tools, Atoti, is the sponsor of this video. Atoti is a Python library that you can use to quickly build BI analytics dashboards on top of any data source. This only takes a few lines of code and can be done directly in a Jupyter notebook. What I love about this specific platform is that it allows you to collaborate with your not as technical peers through their unique interface. With Atoti, you can bring to life your data visualizations, your what-if analyses, your simulations, and your multi-dimensional analysis. Atoti just released version 0.6.0, and I highly recommend you install it to check it out yourself. Like all of the modules and tools that I have as sponsors, Atoti has a community edition that is completely free to use. Often, you need to present your findings to business stakeholders. We sometimes forget that these people are not data scientists themselves. We can drone on and on about the specifics of our models and their performance, but again, often it's better to show rather than tell. Data viz can be extremely effective for conveying complicated information in a digestible way. Just like how visualization can help us to make sense of our own data, it can help others to make sense of our findings too. I have a rule of thumb that if I'm presenting to anyone, I have at least one visual ready to help me illustrate my point. When I started doing this, the effectiveness of my interactions, they went through the roof. Another thing that people don't think about is the virality of a good data viz. If you share a graph or a dashboard, it's really easy for someone else to forward it along. You can begin to get more buy-in on your ideas if they're clearly communicated, and they can spread like wildfire across your company or even your friend group. A great example of this is the Data is Beautiful subreddit. People just love to look at and share compelling visuals. I think it gets overlooked quite frequently, but our job as data scientists is to drive change in an organization. It's to build a new model or to make a recommendation that inspires action. This is the last aspect of data viz that I want to highlight in this video. If you're in a meeting and you show a great data visualization, it's often very clear what the next step should be. Visuals are intended to illustrate what might be the right course of action. I've been in so many meetings where people were arguing about what to do, and then when you put a slide on the screen, the decision becomes immediately obvious to everyone. I kind of look at a great visualization a bit like a superpower. And as we know, superpowers can be used for good or for evil. Since data viz can be used to powerfully drive decision making, we really have to be careful that we're not massaging the data to lobby for something that we personally want. I hope this video helped you to better understand how data visualization can help you as a data scientist or an aspiring data scientist. Something that I wanted to end on is that there's a lot made of soft skills and communication skills in this space. I think those are integrally important, but compelling data visual skills can also help to complement those for people that might be less comfortable sharing in front of a group. Special thanks to Atoti for supporting the channel and to you for watching this video. Until next time, good luck on your data science journey.